You had any inquiries about our meeting?
Live,
Yep, you're live.
Dave,
One bit.
calling to order the Port of Allyn Public Water System Advisory Committee special meeting for July 22nd, 2026 at 5 p.m. Roll call, Jeff Carey.
Scott Gordon.
Jim Freeman.
Public comment, none in the audience, any on Zoom?
No, we're doing on Zoom.
Yeah, nobody on Zoom. Okay, number 4. Oh, we do need to adopt the agenda, don't we?
It's a special meeting and the agenda is different.
Okay, no problem then. Moving right on to number 4, discussion and recommendation on Prestige Homes LLC 10-lot extension on Sullivan Street. And he printed up some big ones. I went up and measured some things to see where we were with the sewer relative to lot lines and things like that. If I use the word if where they stake the end of the water line on the south end, basically on the kind of the just off the intersection of Drum, you can't tell from here. Let's go map down. Oh, there you go.
Drum Street, Sullivan Street.
Yeah. So,
Right there.
and this is their higher level one. They got one that's a little bit more detailed, one layer. But here we go to that one if we got it. Yeah, let's go to that one.
Okay, I'll take this one here.
Yeah.
Very proud, Jeffy. They work though.
It works.
Okay.
It works.
It does. Okay.
Perfect. I'll just pull this way a little bit, so. Okay. So when I went up there for the meeting, this water line that they have right here, which roughly they're showing at about 5 feet, is actually about 3.5 feet, which is fine. And this sewer line's at 15 feet. So in other words, from the property line, about 3.5 feet out to the water line and 15 more feet, or excuse me, 15 total feet to the center of the sewer. So it's got its margin that way. The thing that I noticed though is that so it's not really at 5 like they have in the drawing. It's really about 3.5, which would be no issue, except that when we get there past this point, they have already installed the electrical and electricals in that first 3 to 4 feet off the property lines all the way across. So this water line is going to have to come out a little further. As you get down at this end, like right about here where this manhole is, I measured off a bit and it's 13.5 feet from the property line to there. So it's lost 1.5 feet or so as it's coming north off of the property line. So we're starting to get a little bit squeezed. I hadn't had a chance to look at what kind of elevation, what kind of depth we have in the catch basin.
Are they maintaining the 10-foot separation? Is that what's gonna end up?
We're a little snuggy.
Okay. I mean, it's close. Everything,
Yeah.
everything's
Yeah.
so rough. They're not gonna be out there with
Yeah,
rulers.
it's gonna be
Isn't that their job to make sure that's done?
it's gonna be somewhere between 9 and 10.
Well, it's the port's job to inspect and make sure that those are being adhered to. But
Right.
yeah, it's their job to make sure they're also,
Yeah.
right, between the two, it's the job to make sure
It's the port,
space is
the
correct.
ports inspector will be on site for
Right.
the installation and ensuring that that is the case
Just be aware it just gets snugger at this end.
as it is, and then wider here,
Yes.
narrower there.
What do you think the closest it's gonna be, Jeff? You put a lot of
Um,
effort in. That's what,
So. Mhm. So. It's gonna be around between 8 and 9 feet in this area here. But.
no getting around, no crowd on the other side. There's no moving the pipe a little bit.
No, because the problem is on the drawing here, it looks like you could move it that way and it'd be fine, except there's a power, they go right around the power.
Mhm.
And so you're not gonna dig in that.
And it's so tight up there anyhow. Everything's tight.
Yeah. But, so the next thing, obviously, part of that separation is elevation separation. Let's go see how deep their manhole is here. So the rim is 58. So they got about 8 feet.
They're 8 feet deep,
Yeah. At least they're saying that. I don't,
and the water is gonna be about 4 feet once you dig in the pipe, 3 foot cover.
yeah.
You're gonna be about 4 feet.
So you got 4 plus 8.
I ain't worried about it.
Yeah.
I doubt
I'm not, I'm just,
think it's-
I'm only saying what it
Right.
is. I'm not saying that,
I think it's okay.
I'm not hung up on the issue. I'm just letting members here know.
No, no, that's a good one.
I was gonna see what we had here.
It's just gonna mean that when they dig that in, it's going to have to be precise.
Correct. And we're,
And we want our pipe straight anyway,
Yeah.
so.
So they need to hug the electrical utility side
it's
as close as possible.
as close as possible. As long as you're hugging that, you should be. You find at this end, it'll like maybe a foot shy on the north end. I was just looking here.
So it'd be best to try to trace it by following the electrical line
Right, just,
at that 5 foot amount? Or is it?
yeah, if you can do that.
If you follow it at 5 foot and then
Sure.
just check your sewer lines as you go.
I actually followed it at 4.
Follow it at 4, so cheat it a little bit.
Yeah, because they're right on the line with the equipment.
And they're a lot more forgiving on your standard, on how close you are to the electrical line versus how close you are to the sewer.
Right, you can be within a foot on that.
There's no setback on that, is there?
No, just a foot.
I thought it was 5 feet.
No, I mean,
There is a setback?
when you're in the same ditch, it's a foot. As long as
Is
you
that
got.
a requirement? Is that just a recommendation?
That's PUD, I don't know.
It's a recommendation, I think, isn't it?
PUD puts it in their print.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, we're land main right now, and the PUD's up there putting in fiber optic conduit, and it's 1.5 foot separation.
I've always tried to do, like I said, a foot.
Yeah, they're
Or above.
Yeah, that's they're putting the same ditch, power's 1.5 foot above us over to the side of the ditch, so.
be aware as you're going north. That the pipe gets tighter as closer to the surface. It looks like the rim. But they're showing they're not gonna put one here, but I don't think. I think it's just a clean out here. It's just, yeah, okay, the clean out.
The temporary clean out.
No, I mean, yeah, it's temporary in the sense, yeah. You'll go to a manhole once as further development goes. So there, let's see, where are we? 57.2. So we're about 6, just a hair bit under 6 feet here near the intersection. So the elevation gets a little tighter that way too.
On the sewer line,
Yeah, as you go north,
as you go north, because it's higher in the.
you're gradually going up. Gradually, real shallow, and which is fine. But it just means you have to be on your toes on these last 2 lots when you're digging in the utilities for like water. That's where you're gonna have to be a little bit more on your toes.
And all this sewer exists now, all this piping.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everything
It exists and approved.
Okay.
So in these plans, there have the depth drawings on the sewer line.
Right.
So everything we needed to be able to evaluate sewer and relation to the water and the power's not shown on these drawings. No. There should be a separate layer for the power.
But the weird part is like, you're showing the sewer right here. They got the power right there. So it's not really there,
So,
because I just went up and measured that. And it's, I think they drew two dirt lines, but I'm looking at measurements, I think it's closer to this one.
okay. So is the power line being ran directly on top of the sewer?
Well, not, when you say directly,
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say is the cleanouts. I'm not sure how close that is. It's because I'm saying I went there and there was a stake knocked over, but basically looked like right there, all the power was there too, right beside where that sewer takeoff.
Okay, so
And and in this drawing here, they've been putting the water. This one's different. The water there, they went over a little bit. So So this water here is gonna run this lot and this lot, and you're gonna have to go somehow across in here. And where they got the valve, you got no room to go, you know what I'm trying to say? And you're up against the property line. You got power and you got sewer,
And the power and the sewer are right next to each other,
right?
which means you'd have to put the water on the other side of the property line, or not the other side, but if you got your, so this is,
See, they're showing like double takeoffs, in other words.
yeah, so these are all the takeoffs for each lot. Even though this one doesn't show one.
Right, because it's this one here.
Okay.
They're splitting everything. Sewer is, you know, each side sewer thing is two, each water thing is two.
So they're running, I thought we talked about this, they're running one tap, one 1 inch line and then splitting at the meters
Yes,
to feed 2 meters.
Yeah, and then we'll require two separate taps.
Yeah, so that's 8. I
And
thought
then,
we talked-
and then,
Yeah.
and then literally where they're showing this water box here,
each showed another.
it needs to be pushed back out of the property line into the right of way
Yeah.
for one.
Yeah,
And you would have a separate tap over here to be on this side for this property.
right.
Mhm.
Now, this sewer line right here just goes to this property. How does it feed this property?
Yeah, it's a side sewer, so it's a Y.
So it's a Y. So we don't even know where that is
No,
because they haven't drawn it in.
no, and I mean, it's roughly right there. But I mean, obviously, it's gonna have to come at an angle, I mean, because you can't do 90,
Right.
and so it's gonna.
So it's coming at an angle into this property.
Yeah, yeah. See, they should have had that all out here, out in the right away, all the angling. You know what I'm saying? Out in the,
Are the meter locations for us, are they extremely important with the new build?
I
Are
agree.
are they? Is the developer saying, hey, all the driveways are on the left? Do we know all that?
No, we don't know any of that.
that.
But we can say one thing is we gotta get these valve boxes back away off the property lines.
So that's another thing that needs to be understood. Layout of the properties, where the driveways are.
Right.
Well, yeah, everything's so tight. I just didn't know if
No,
each meter should get its own tap. So we're not committed for each lot. Each meter gets its own tap. So we can place the meters randomly
Right,
throughout, kind of.
It-
But we would like to double them up
right.
for meter reading
Right.
purposes and stuff, but, and we'd like to use the common ditch.
If they got, depends what they did with their driveways.
If it can be dealt with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
does that make sense to you, Charles?
So I'm working on the layout of the buildings, where are the driveways, we need to know exactly what's laid out.
Or at least
So that we can know where we can put our water.
Yeah.
just a rough site drawing.
Mhm.
So we kind of know where the, you know, where this, it's not so much we need to know where the house is, but it's like, we need to know how the driveway is gonna work at it. Is it one car, two
We
cars?
need a rough site drawing to know.
Yeah.
Where things are.
Yeah.
There needs to be, they need to properly lay out where the sewer lines are to each property.
That'd be great, so we can see where those are at,
Correct.
cause we don't wanna be right on top of that, so.
Yeah.
And if the county's already accepted these as builts for it, why is that not the case?
Because the county didn't do the job. If in fact they actually approved it. You know, I could make a call to Richard.
We should find out where
Yeah.
that is actually lining up, because if they haven't improved it and there needs to be changes made, then that affects where our water lines go
I'd agree.
and our planning.
So they should have got from the county a sign off on their as-bills.
We need a copy of the sign off.
So this is all sanitary sewer extension and stuff, do we have the water?
I was waiting for you to ask that. They basically did water, or they did sewer and then put water interlaced in this thing. That's the way I would describe it.
And this is a dead end, I imagine, there was talk maybe about an automatic flusher or something, is that
No,
accurate?
this one can extend.
This one,
It can extend, but we don't know when that'll occur. It
Right,
could be 10 years from now, and we have a dead end line that doesn't get flushed.
I'm on the other side, okay? It's probably gonna happen within 5 years, okay?
Second question, if an automatic flusher is put into place, can it be reused?
Oh, absolutely. So the prime example is we're putting one in now.
Right,
It's a massive dead end line.
Right.
It's gonna go through and it's gonna do the flushing part and everything else. When the next guy hooks on,
right,
he takes that, he moves it over to the end of his line.
sure.
So then that would be the end
What
of
we
where
do.
you
Yeah,
extend. So, but if we don't start incorporating this now into our.
No, we're
system
screwed.
designs,
Yeah.
We're just putting ourselves up for failure.
Yep.
And I'll say this too, this is all very important and there's no guarantee that the homes are all gonna sell and everybody's
Yeah.
amazing. There's 38 homes right now for sale in Lakeland Village
Yeah.
and nothing selling. So, if this water goes in, we need to, the automatic flusher should go in. If this-
Yeah, no, I agree.
And I think a sample station probably, we haven't been, getting that.
There is no sample station on that entire leg of the system.
And how long of a leg is,
So we're talking all this compass and all that stuff.
Yeah, there's no sampling.
So,
There's what, there's,
so then they,
there's 2-inch, blow off.
yeah, right.
Which only one of them have been located. On those, the compass and the Sullivan.
Yeah.
But
I'd say obviously we need to get a sampling on this section, yeah, either at one end or the other.
and it doesn't have to be right at the end, just a representation of what's happening.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be right at the end.
No, I agree.
So
But
just wherever it kind of works in here.
yeah,
And they're using the C900, is that what came?
it
through?
doesn't spec, or does it spec?
yeah, but the rest of the rudder is C900.
Yeah, so they're putting C900.
Right.
I think that we could allow C900, or if they want to put in ductile, they're welcome to.
Yeah, absolutely. Fuel costs are up so high, maybe the C900's up too, so.
Yeah, it's coming down, or at least US wide, it's coming down. Here locally, it's still high.
So we are doing individual taps, is that accurate? That's,
Yeah.
and then that
That's-
might help in
yeah.
the situation here too, to where we can move the meter here.
Right.
Are all these just standard homes? There's nothing, you don't know of any irrigation systems, anything going like that? It's all just,
Again, because nobody's really, got site drawings, we have no idea.
right, so what we do is we have a survey and I think Travis has one or I can get it to him. And everybody that purchases a home or build a home.
Right.
They fill out the survey. Hey, what's gonna go happen in the house? It just
And
goes in
that's,
the record.
I mean, they should know. I mean, they're doing 10
For-
lots.
Yeah, for cross connection. So, and I'm confident it's all gonna be standard stuff. But at
Mhm.
least we'll start building the record. Hey, it's a brand new home. Here's what the guy's putting in, brand new, no cross connection needed.
Right.
Okay.
And I'm not too worried about the separation things.
No, I'm not.
It's so deep and we're gonna be. in
Yeah,
the
I mean,
air.
I was worried about it at first, but I think I had the thing in my mind that I had to have 5 feet of separation from the
Well,
wow.
that and just because nobody talks,
Right.
when I worked with that developer in the past, I had the problem, nobody talks. So they subcontracted me to work with the different utilities, and that kind of got things somewhat semblance, but Larry didn't help the matter on that one.
Now, you should have the specs. I don't know if they've gotten approved and all through the motions yet, but for the automatic flusher. You should have that.
I
And
think it was
for
in
the
that,
sample station.
that thing where you and I,
Yeah.
that's
So exact location and depths of all the sewer connections to each house is necessary for us to know that our water line isn't in violation of any wax.
Yeah, we don't wanna commit to a service line going right up there and trying to set a meter when, there's some clean out or there's something crazy.
As much as anything, we're going to know, I mean, because you got a pipe, assuming the pipe's at that elevation, and the lid was bolted down, so I couldn't I was gonna pop the lid and, make a measurement just to make sure that rim to that is, 8 feet or 6 feet or whatever it was. But as long as that pipe's at that, and we kind of have we have the depth separation. Now this is the issue of, what do you really got in there? Is it just one pipe and it's gonna split? And then if so, where you got, like you say here, some of these are kind of offset a little bit. And you're kind of splitting into the other guy's lot.
It's so tight up there, it's tight.
But they actually, the easement, to get back out in the easement, they got room.
What else did we have for this leg. They're putting a blow off for expansion.
Well,
That'll be,
you're flushing.
well, we got the automatic flusher happens as a tap, a 2-inch tap, maybe 5-10 feet from the end of the main.
Oh, okay,
And then a blow off for expansion gets set,
okay,
because you want the 8-inch valve,
right.
the next guy can take the plug out or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
So,
you know,
is there any air vac needed here? I know we kind of missed it, but the upper section where it's high,
right,
there should have been an air vac up there. But this is lower,
this is at the bottom, low end.
no air vac here.
Question, you know, Romac makes a reusable blow off end. In other words, it's one of the alpha ones, they call it. Basically, you know, just clamps around the outside of a, like C900, ductile iron, whatever. And it can be reused.
Yeah, so what you would normally do is you would set your 8-inch valve on there,
Right,
this developer or whoever.
yeah,
He would set that on there, then he would put a tapped 2-inch plug.
right,
And
but
then
they,
you would have your
but I'm,
standpipe.
but I'm saying, Romac makes an
No, I
alpha.
got you, I
Yeah,
got you.
it's
So,
8-inch on the thing and it has a 2-inch.
so then what
Plug.
would happen is the next guy, the valve is shut off.
Right,
The valve shut off, the next guy just takes the plug out, it ain't a big deal.
Yeah.
And then he stabs his pipe in there and he starts laying pipe. And
Right.
then when everything's cool, you turn your valve on, and the
Yeah.
valve's already there.
but I'm saying that if we use the alpha one, then you can just keep moving it up the line.
Is there a valve before the alpha? And I know none of this alpha stuff is cheap, so
No, I know it, but I've used it and it's worth the time.
is there an 8-inch valve just sitting there waiting for the guy to hook onto?
Yes, right here, 8-inch,
Okay,
right there.
that's important, because you don't want to shut down the main.
No,
for the
no.
next guy,
No,
you know.
Yeah.
However you want to do it, so.
so,
So right here at the very end of the current proposed extension, you've got an 8-inch valve here.
right,
And then what's this?
That's a
so
valve.
That's the valve.
What is it?
that's the gate valve.
That's the gate valve, and then you have it.
That's the blow off.
That's the
This is a
blow
dead
off.
end, yeah, that's dead end.
Okay. So yeah, it's just pointing to that one spot. So it's basically saying all in here, you've got
Mhm.
one 8-inch gate valve, 20 linear feet of 8-inch pipe extended past it.
Yeah.
You've got the 8-inch plug,
Right,
which is in the end, but
But
then you
it's-
also have the blow off.
That's weird that they put the pipe in their trailer, it's fine,
Yeah.
but normally, literally, the valve would be the last
yeah.
item where they plug in there and you're done, there's no extra 20 feet.
And then would this be considered a drive-on box? Because it's still, we don't know where
That
the
is-
road's gonna get
yes,
extended.
That is showing a, just a dead end, but the blow off pipe would stand in there with a traffic box.
Right.
Yeah.
So traffic box for the 2-inch blow off.
Yeah.
but, okay, go ahead and make a note of that and then I'll tell you the next, the Romac.
Who did these drawings?
Development engineering.
Him.
Not a phone. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the.
Just tell me when, I got one more.
Traffic box with 2-inch blow off at end of run.
So your alpha thing with the 20 foot of pipe, your alpha thing would clamp onto the
Yeah,
pipe.
yeah.
I got you, but normal operation, the valve would be the end of the end of the end. So,
Right, yeah. We've always, like, when we've done, we've always stuck something in to go that.
So typically, would you put the 2-inch blow off assembly just like tapped off of the main and then the end 8-inch valve and then that's it?
No, 8-inch is further back.
you would have your 8-inch valve, and
Yeah.
it would be MJ, so it would accept another piece of pipe in the pressure. You could put an MJ plug right at the valve that's tapped to, and you just come out of there and just go right up there. Everything is right
I see.
there. Everything is this
But-
big.
So the blow off would still be subject to you cycling that 8-inch valve
Yeah.
open.
But,
Which is not
but-
a bad thing.
but they got the 20-foot section here.
There's a 20 foot section. in
So
here.
let's go, everything's fine with the gate valve to that point, but at the end, use a Romac Alpha cap.
So that you don't have to put the 20-foot section in.
No, you're gonna put, because they're already putting the 28. all it's saying is we can move it to, we can keep reusing that, moving up the line as the line expands.
Okay, I have a question which would eliminate a lot of this in the future.
Yes,
Did our specs that we kind of worked through and all that,
Okay.
did the drawings and the specs get approved by the board? Did it go through the whole?
It got preliminarily approved and then we were still working on doing the language to it and we didn't finish that.
When that gets all done, those written part of the specs need to go to all the engineers and stuff, so we
Yeah.
don't end up with random.
yes,
Our blow off would be spelled out, this
Right.
is what the blow off is, not trying to decipher what people are doing.
right,
They would have the specs, they would say, this is Belfer or, Port Allen's water, this
yeah.
is what they want,
Yeah.
here's their blow off standard.
I agree.
And it would eliminate a lot of
They
this.
could even now without even fully being vetted all the way through, it still could be used right now.
It could, it's a little late for this, but it would
Yeah.
show, everybody's gotta
Oh,
get
yeah.
their own tap, here's what a service looks like, here's what we want for a setter, here's this, here's that. They're still just putting in what they kinda want, and we're kind of trying to figure it out and pick through, like,
Yeah.
okay, this is okay, but it's
Right.
not what we really have worked for.
And obviously, the fact that they only did single taps to splits, they didn't get the spec, you know.
Right, and then the blow off thing is like a massive deal, cause it was clearly said, this is what we want for a blow off, but.
Mhm.
I'm just saying, there's a lot of that that we could stem off in the future.
Yeah, I suppose like when somebody makes the application to go, if they're doing line extensions, basically you hand them the,
No, the new specs just need to have,
no, I'm saying, when somebody let's say they come down here and want an application, you need to kind of like hand them.
yeah, well, I provided them with an email, all of the materials.
Oh,
When they come down and ask for actually doing a water connection,
yeah,
I literally sent them the entire suite
okay,
of documents and the specifications and requirements.
Okay.
And say, here's what you need, and this is what we get.
So what's normal, we take, when the specs get approved, and this only happens every 10 years or something, you go
Right.
through these, it's not every day. But you send it out to all the wholesale houses, H.D. Fowler, Ferguson, Core and Maine, they all get a copy of it to say, okay, this is what Port of Allen wants. And then you also take some time and you send it out to the engineers, everybody that you ever heard of
Right.
gets a copy of it.
right. Other than that, I can't think of anything else with related to this one.
So we got a sample station, we got a blow off, we've got
Valve.
individual tap. They're gonna figure out where to kind of put the meters.
And when we were talking about the 2-inch blow off at the end, you were talking about a special type of Romex connector, reusable.
Alpha, it's called an alpha.
Yeah, it's an
but
alpha.
I've never really seen one.
I've used it, we got one set of.
So an alpha connector.
It's an Alpha Romac connector, and it's designed to clamp to the C900 or ductile iron, either one.
Right,
And then it's got already a 2-inch fitting
right.
to hook your,
Because literally, once that line gets extended, the blow off is no longer necessary.
no, you can carry the whole damn thing up to the next block.
Okay, so a Romac, Alpha Romac
And
connector.
I can shoot you the specs because we
Okay,
did it in ours.
And the automatic flusher will be tapped, like 10 feet before that. And it'll just be flushing. So this is kind of in the road. The water main itself's in the road, correct?
Yes,
Cause it's so tight. in here. Where is the automatic flusher going to sit and do its flushing to dump in?
can the flusher come off the side of the? main
actually,
tap?
if they put it down, well,
And it could just go literally in
No,
the
if
right of way, right up against
if
the,
they put it down near the north end,
yeah,
there's a storm drain.
Yeah, they can tie it in. I mean, I guess they're gonna have to tie it into that.
I don't know.
But I was thinking the size of it, cause it's going to be similar, very close to that small desk.
Okay, okay,
It's going to
and
be,
it's something that just ground bolts.
no, it's
That's
above
not-
ground.
Okay.
okay, so you know what that means?
Ooh,
We're gonna have to add some bollards,
The what?
bollards.
yeah, it is above ground and it's.
Cause
above-
there's only 35 feet of width in the travel right of way, max.
It's smaller now, but that's about what it is.
But I mean, you need something to keep somebody from running over it.
Yeah, they'll be parking or something.
No, yeah, I'm just saying, you just need some bollards.
4 inch pipe would be fine, just get a piece of board pipe, cut it a couple of
Yeah.
pieces, yeah. But that's about what's gonna be, it's gonna be above ground, it's gotta be on the shoulder somewhere. And then they gotta tie it in or daylight it to a ditch or something.
Yeah. But yeah, if they stick to the north end, then they could go straight to there's pipes in there all over the place to go to the stormwater.
So it needs to be piped to release to the stormwater. Well,
If stormwater's fine, or daylight to a ditch, you can daylight out to a ditch or
there's
something.
no ditch
Well,
opportunity,
there's a big swale
So it would be,
below it.
but how long will that swale be there when you develop the rest of the, or when?
No,
the
swale's there.
and you don't wanna run it across the road, so it's gonna have to be
So
trapped.
so that's gonna go, in if you don't wanna run across the road, then it's
It's
definitely
gonna go
gonna,
in the storm.
Okay.
cause the storm has culvert in there at the
You're gonna
north
be
end.
getting calls all the time saying there's a main break and it's only 5 minutes that you got it programmed for, but yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's amazing little odds and ends to these things. Anything else anybody can think of?
Let me go through my list and see what I missed.
Okay, Brad?
Okay, so, watching the width of the sewer and water with power separation. A 4 inch separation from the power is,
4 feet.
4 feet, yeah, 4 feet.
Well, when you say separation from the power?
Yeah, separation from the power
No.
and then checking the sewer.
I'm sorry,
distance
that was
along-
that's only like a foot off of, the 4 feet's off the property line, cause you got the power, you got the
Okay.
property line, power, and I'm saying if they run it about 4 feet, it'll be fine.
If you're running at 4 feet off the property line.
Yeah,
Not off the power line,
correct.
okay.
But they're gonna have to
But
be on
then
their
you're still
toes.
gonna be almost a foot away from the power line.
Right, they're gonna have to be on their toes.
And then.
Power line,
That-
off foot.
Yeah,
And then that's supposed to give you, in theory, 10 feet from the sewer.
it'll give you 10 feet all the way except the last 100, maybe 50 to 100 feet. And there it's only gonna be like 9 feet. And the good thing about it is you still got offset, meaning you got like 2 or 3 feet below.
Right.
So,
right. Yeah. you
and
got
9
that
feet
shelf.
across, so you got 12 feet to work with. Okay, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Okay.
You got the from 4 inch to,
Property line.
I mean, it's gonna take somebody taking, so to speak, a sample dig first. And make sure that where things are and then you can go.
It'd be great if they brought a Vector up there, but they won't, but it'd be
No.
great if they brought a Vector and every 20 feet kind of figure out where
Yeah.
everything's at.
Yeah.
They won't.
Okay. Checking the sewer distance along the way as the installation travels north because the north end is going to be tight. Layouts of the building where the driveways need rough site drawings to make sure we're not getting our water boxes too close to sewer drops because we don't have the exact locations in the drawing.
Mhm.
Correct.
Need a copy of the sewer sign off, so we know that there isn't going to be any additional sewer
Right,
being built onto it that would affect our water line.
right.
Automatic flusher at the end of the line, bollards for the traffic protection above ground, needs to flush to the storm drain or across the road to the swale.
From what
But
you were
we
saying.
don't want the swale, we want it in the storm drain.
It has to go storm drain. You do not.
Yeah.
want
Sampling station is necessary, we can provide them.
What we do is so we can track the water that's being used through the sample station. Cause in time, when you start chlorinating, you'll need to take residuals and stuff. So there's a lot more water that gets used through it. But you'll put a meter in just before the
Right.
sample station. And the district normally provides the setter and the box and a meter for that.
Well, with an automatic flusher, we would have a meter on that too. Wouldn't we?
Yes, you would like to, yes.
We need to know how much water is being consumed in the
Right.
line.
This one I had here, I got very lucky. I had a 2 inch setter sitting there and a 2 inch meter. that was just hanging out. But a 2-inch setter is $2,300. And the 2-inch meter is another 1,400, 1,500, yeah.
Nice put one in.
Okay, so that's in $1,800. So, and that would be district cost and that would only be there to track the water use.
Right.
Which is a thing.
So setters and meters for automatic flushers and sampling stations are not the developer's responsibility. They're the district's responsibility.
Yes, I would say yes.
Because
Generally.
I would say it's tracking the water use efficiency. Now, you can certainly ask them or tell them and see how far that goes, but generally that is for you and everything.
it, literally, if couldn't you put the sampling station right next to the automatic flusher and make them both subject to the same meter?
Hmm. Hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but I think it'd be a little, you'd have to put the meter ahead of everything. And the sample station have to come in here and you need some room around all this stuff and then the automatic flusher. And yes, in theory, you could put a 2-inch meter in and a 2-inch line and a little manifold system. You could.
You could tap the 2-inch line and just have a tee off of there and have your sampling station and then still be subject to the automatic flusher.
Yeah, you could put a saddle and tap and a corp and all that and then 90 out and then build a little manifold thing and get your meter in there and then this sample station, then the flusher, but it'd be a little weird. Normally it'd be a little weird to abandon the sample station or the flusher.
So, but in this
Now,
scenario,
Yeah.
now all of a sudden you got an extra kind of water main running along with your water main. Kind of for 10
Okay,
feet,
so-
it's gonna take 15 feet to get all this in.
so the purchase of said meter and base is the district's responsibility. The installation is still the developers.
That's how we're rolling up there. The guy, the contractor's putting this stuff in. He said, "Don't worry about it. I'm not gonna charge you." He said, "We gotta be here anyhow," and da 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 da. And I'm kind of there, and it's going fine. But he's got to do the tap. He's got to put a corp in. He's gonna have to run the poly. You're just dropping this meter in between. So you can provide some fittings. You can, hey, can you?
So let's just kind of sketch out on this here, where the automatic flusher should go, where the sampling station should go. It should all go towards the end here.
Well, yeah, the sample station doesn't have to be at the end. You're gonna get a true representation of what's happening. It can go anywhere in there.
Then maybe we just have them put it in right here at the beginning. Cause then we know we could be at the corner of the property out of the way of everything. We know where the road is here.
Okay, be careful with corners and the traffic and cars because your guy is going to have to, port guy is gonna have to go up to the sampling station on a regular basis when you start chlorinating and he's got to park. And he's got to walk up there and it takes, 5-10 minutes and.
Actually got nice room there to park.
Okay.
Yeah,
At the end-
it's
at
a
the end.
pretty wide, it's a really wide.
Yeah, in that swale, the swale starts 60 feet in or 80 feet in.
But now the automatic flusher's got to be down here no matter what happens with the station can be up in here. Great.
So literally put,
I'll let Jim and you just decide all those.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. As long as it gets in there, it's great.
okay, and then automatic flusher, of course, has to go on the end. And it
10
has
feet from the end.
10 feet from the end,
Yeah.
but 10 feet from the end on this side of the valve.
Yeah, so this blowout thing's kind
Yeah.
of weird because they're stacking.
You could
20
ask,
foot
you could ask
pipe
him to
I
extend.
think this is gonna have to be extended
That's
because
what-
we're gonna wanna have that automatic flusher right here.
in. Mhm.
So they can be protected by the roadway.
And some of this they
So-
can do in the field. Those guys out there laying the pipe don't care. They can move that about 10 feet. It doesn't matter.
The touchiness, the issue is that in the past, one of the parties involved with this has shortchanged the port on occasion.
Oh, I'd be shocked because it happens all the time for everybody.
No, more aggressively than
Mm. Yeah.
normal.
Gotta have inspectors and gotta have your stuff. And yes, it's gotta be written down.
It's about as diplomatic as I can say it.
Get it in the ground and cover it up quick.
Well, it's not even that, it's just. Anyway, another story, another time. So you think you're there, guys?
No, I'm still working on it.
Okay, no problem, no rush.
What time did you have to leave?
It's soon, I kind of.
5:45.
It's well, like, yeah, I need to go now, but I'm gonna hang out a little bit for the engineering thing here. Stuff going on. Seems like I'm very busy lately.
About 20 feet of extension approximately.
At least 15. Well, I mean, it's a stick, so it might as well be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just anything to get you at least 10, 15 feet, 10 feet beyond the corner.
There's no trees where the sample station's going.
Nope.
Yeah, we kind of like them out in the open a little bit.
Yeah, I mean,
you know.
these are scorched earth lots.
Okay, yeah, it helps.
Okay, stopped at the Stanley station where we got hung up. Individual taps for each connection, the white branching, exact locations and elevations and the sewer drop connections, because they're not shown in the as-built. They
This
can
is
just
8 inch
provide
pipe,
them in
right?
the as-built, which would be fine.
Yeah,
There's no fire hydrants on this leg.
I was gonna ask about that, or,
I think you're gonna have to have one.
because the other one,
What's our distance from
400
the corner?
you're gonna have to get one at this end.
Cause our other,
It's 400 plus across the street. and
Right. right here. Existing water, existing
Yeah,
stuff.
so it's like right there. So it's down and over before you even start the 400 feet.
So this is actually the hydrant.
Right.
I don't know why it just says existing 8 inch water, but okay.
And you're saying this is about 400 feet here?
It's 400 feet from this first lot right there at that corner to there. 400 feet exactly. So 400 is the minimum the fire marshal likes. Is that right?
And depending on how this lines up, they may have to jog this water line right off the bat. I mean, if this is exactly where the line ends up, it is literally right on the property line.
No, at least I looked at the stake. If the stake is
Okay.
where they put a water stake, the water stake is 3.5 feet off the line, right at that corner.
Okay.
So if they kind of just keep working it out, you'll be at 4 feet in short order.
If they just keep working it out, you mean just like kind of meander it this way?
I don't want
Without-
to use the word meander.
They can deflect it.
Flex.
Deflect, okay, deflect.
Deflect.
I can't
Okay.
remember, I think it's 5 or 6 degrees.
Yeah.
That did
Yeah.
that joint allow you to deflect.
Yeah,
Okay,
they can deflect, but so I think they can get away without having to put any fitting affair down there. But they're gonna have to,
But I think a fire hydrant needs to go in on this
no, I
leg.
mean, because you're gonna be at 400 feet.
And then if it is, then Travis needs to send over the spec on what they're wanting with the check valves, because that's an interesting.
Yeah, I'll look up the county spec on the fire hydrant and I'll tell you with it, okay,
cause that would literally end up putting the fire hydrant literally right here where the
Yeah.
automatic flusher is gonna be.
right.
It can go in maybe a little shorter, but man, these lots are so tight with driveways and stuff. I don't know where they fit it.
That easement's 60 foot wide on the Everhart.
Yeah, there'll be room.
Yeah. So, but let me
put the fire hydrant in.
just tee it off. Well, and you see how he's running the rest of the sewer?
I got an idea.
Go ahead, shoot.
There's 20 feet of pipe. You're running out to this extra road here, this crossing.
This is 60 feet wide.
Yeah, so you're running out, that's 60 feet. So you're running the main out to the intersection.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Can you not set a fire hydrant out there
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then take away the blow off?
Oh,
Can you tee it off there, plug off the T on the one end and use the fire hydrant as your blow?
I was gonna ask that. I thought it'd be a dumb question.
Nope.
I was like, oh, what kicks you use?
Nope,
fire
and then
hydrants?
they can just take the plug out of the T, hook onto the
Oh,
pipe.
okay, so, but there's a T you're saying.
There's a
Okay,
T, MJT, they
fine.
just shut the
So
main.
that just totally gets rid of that alpha connection.
No blow off. The fire hydrant is the blow off.
So literally the valve though would end up being further down this way, wouldn't it?
Yes, I remove all that.
Yeah.
Weird spot.
Well, we always gotta put a valve on the fire hydrant.
Yeah, but this valve is gonna have to be way over here because you're gonna have to have the fire hydrant here that's not subject to the valve.
Correct. So, so to me, it's going down here, so fire hydrant here, there's a valve here and there's a valve here. The fire hydrant.
Yeah, so you're gonna tee off,
Yes.
but you would.
T and then valve and then pipe and then fire hydrant.
Okay, so because this valve here is gonna be shut off. Unless you're talking about letting it be open with the plug and
It's
then
gonna be open with the plug.
it's gonna be open with the plug.
That valve wouldn't even exist. It could just go away and be on my T here. So that valve gets moved to here. Your valve that you're talking about is over here now.
Yeah,
This goes away. That goes away. This gets a T. Or valve on the T, valve on the T. This is an 8x6 T. And if you really want to do something, you could set another valve here. And then this hydrant would never be out of water because this one would be off all the time. And then the new guy hooks on here and then you can turn it on. Now, when you have three valves at the T, especially at a fire hydrant, it's excellent. The reason is you can change the direction of flow that you're flushing. You can have this shut off in the future. There'll be other water tying in. You can flush out here. Then this one can get shut off. And then you can flush backwards out here too.
Right.
So if there's 3 valves at the hydrant T, you kind of got something going on. That one valve gets away, your blow off assembly gets away, and you get your fire hydrant.
but then you also have your automatic flusher before the first tee.
Before the hydrant T. So you would have it 20 feet back or something from this fire hydrant. 15 feet, whatever,
Yeah.
from the fire hydrant back, yes. And it would just be sitting there doing its thing every week, or you'll have to figure out how often to run it. Is it
Right.
10 minutes a week or something?
Yeah,
It would just do its thing. But that's what I would do. I'd get the fire hydrant this way. I'd get the 3 valves on that T so you can regulate it in the future, do away with the blow off.
right. So say, don't have to have a special thing there.
We need a fire hydrant anyhow.
But
Right.
then you would make the automatic flusher subject after the first valve, but before the T on the fire hydrant.
Where would this valve be?
So this valve literally goes away.
Yeah, and
It
then
actually gets moved to right here.
where the T would be for, yep.
Okay, and then you have your T, and then you have your valve here for the hydrant, and then you have your.
Valve for future and
future.
valve on this side of it too. All 3 sides of the T
Right.
get a valve.
Yep, but then where does the automatic flusher become subject to this assembly?
It does not. It'll be up here,
It'll be up here before any of the valves,
15 feet before.
15 feet before.
Yeah. And it'll have its own tap, its own core. And then what I've done before.
In the specs of the 2-inch services, I don't know if you remember, but in the specs of the 2-inch services, you got your 8-inch main, you come off with your 2-inch.
Right,
Instead of using a 2-inch corp there,
right.
I have them put a nipple in and a regular 2-inch resiliency gate valve right here, and then run your poly on up and set your setter, okay? This here is getting the valve can.
Yeah.
This also helps you locate in the future what's happening. And then if you ever have a problem with this line, you can just shut this off.
Right.
So perfect example would be the automatic flusher.
Right,
In the future, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, whatever, this is gonna get removed. Y'all gonna do is come here and shut this off,
right.
and you could pull up the valve can and bail and bury it.
Oh,
And leave that off, you're done, you're moving on to the next one.
okay.
So that's a thing. And then this is on the 2-inch taps. 2-inch services, this is on the specs.
Okay,
Okay. But if the automatic flusher ever had an issue, you can just come
Yeah.
out here and shut it off, you kinda, it's got a valve can, it's got all the stuff.
right. He needs to know. He's writing in the notes for the meetings we're gonna have with the developer.
This, if you just take the 2-inch services that's in the specs you have and emulate this for the automatic flusher, that's great.
Hear that, Travis?
So you,
I mean, you gotta get a meter in there too somewhere.
right,
And there's gonna be a shut off on this setter, but see, all that can get removed. You
Yeah.
don't wanna leave that big setter in there and all that.
Yep. Nothing to it. Yeah,
and
similar.
then, we're talking about it before, the sampling station goes kind of at the head of everything.
Yeah, wherever it's easy to park and it's not in the way and your guy can get out and yeah.
Yeah, you had, at the south end, you had plenty of room.
Right.
It's a 30 by 80 foot, 30 by 60 foot area. If he gets this done, then we can,
Okay, mom won't be able to stay for the engineering and stuff, but
we can discuss part of it right now. I mean, just general concepts.
so here's what I've had experience with the engineers. I'm just gonna
Yeah,
share this.
yeah.
So we have the big firms over in Tacoma and Seattle
Right,
and all
sure.
that, and you sure feel like some very small fish in a very big pond.
Yeah,
Right? So I made a concentrated effort to find a somewhat local guy around here. So maybe, we were a little bigger fish in a smaller pond,
right.
if that makes sense. Okay, so I have had no real success with the efforts that I've gone down that path with.
Okay.
Billing has actually been heavier and more involved than the bigger firms,
Oh, yeah.
which doesn't sound right. And I had a prime example, so we do it a little different. We get the prints from the developer, we do all this, we tell them what we want, we mark it all up, we send it to another engineering firm. Hey, relook at this. Is this first engineer okay? Did we miss anything? Obviously.
Right.
We charge $1,500 for that to the developer to do that, okay? So fine. I talked to the engineer, told him, hey, here's what we got, you need to, maybe $3,000 or $100, something
Right.
like that. But, what do you think it's gonna cost? Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, it turns into $2,400, $500. Hey, I get the bill, what's up, well, that's what it is because of this and this and this. Okay, well, then I had a question about some of the results.
Right.
And I'm like, we're probably gonna have to look into this a little bit more and because I don't think this is right. I think you missed maybe this. What about this idea here? I get another bill. I get another bill for $2,200.
And this is more from the
And
local.
The local guy, and I'm like, this isn't working. So I went back to the larger firm in Seattle, BHC, which we've used. And I talked to him. I said, listen, here's the deal. It's $1,500. We charge the developer for this. And he says, here's what we're gonna do. He says, it's $1,500. That's what it is. Some of them, Jim, I'm gonna lose on. The bulk of them, I'm gonna $700-800 or something,
Yeah.
but to you, no matter what happens, it's 1,500.
Yeah.
I said, I can go with that. As
Right.
long as I know what the number
Right.
is, I'm okay. And that's what it's been doing.
Huh.
And they've been very genuine. They got salesmen that come around. They've been very real. They have a massive firm. They are easy to talk to. And it has been successful for, 6 months, a year or something. And they were successful before, but I was just trying to,
Right. In
know.
other words, the impression, not really knowing, but the impression was that you were the little fish in the big pond. And
Right.
so you're saying, well, okay, maybe local, because some things local, done locally are cheap, less expensive to do.
And you can drive over there.
Yeah.
And like, hey, what about this? What
Yeah.
about that? I
Right.
thought that was valuable.
Right.
But after actually doing that, it's not very valuable.
It's valuable, but not in the right direction,
Yeah.
not in the right direction on the ledger sheet. No, I was going down through, starting with the group on the, so to speak, on call.
Mhm.
And just kind of categorizing, to me, it's like most of the firms have the specs to do the job. The question is,
Sure.
the real question gets down to the contract, like you're saying here. Okay, when we have reviews, what's gonna be the base number? And then the other issue is, okay, there's two types, in my mind, two types of situations we run into, the report runs into. Where you need to talk to somebody el pronto, because you got a crisis on your hands. Or one that, we can, wait a week or a few days and then get a call back.
Well, what I have found with the bigger firms, there's more people there, which actually handle the calls that are coming and going. You actually get a very quick and pretty
Right.
real response. It's not like, hey, leave a message and we might hear from you.
Right.
It has not been the case.
Yeah, I'm just,
So,
I don't know how the port wants to structure it, but in the private sector side, to me, if I had, so to speak, two numbers, meaning, this one, if it works out that it's always instant, that's fine. I don't need to make it any more complex than that. But in my mind, from a private sector side, I said, okay, there's kind of two situations. One is kind of emergencies, and the other is like, I got some time, call me with this and, the next week.
yeah, so I'm just saying that's my experience and it's up to Travis and the commissioners and stuff. but-
Right.
So, yeah, did you get a chance to look at a few of those?
Yeah, I looked at all of them, and then I searched to see different traits and different things.
Right.
And I don't know if you
I prioritized 2 on the on-call and 3 on the water system plan update to really kind of go over.
The little bit else I do know is some engineering firms do not have structural engineers.
Yeah,
Some of them are only mechanical.
that's a,
Yeah, and I
So-
noticed some of them don't even have electrical
Yes.
engineers.
Yeah.
I thought that was an important trait.
I was gonna ask you, did you include the one that about surge?
Which one?
BHC,
Yeah, VHC is.
did you include them in on surges?
No, I haven't talked to them.
No, the reason is I didn't expect to see somebody actually put surges in their electric.
Right, an
It
electrical.
was like,
spec, yeah.
wow.
So we went with BHC lately and it's been fine. And we're building a new shop at some point. And I asked them if they did structural
Right.
also,
Yeah.
and sure, they got a structural
Right.
team. I got the drawings back and, it was a 2-month window to get a full building deal back and all that. It wasn't crazy. So,
So yeah, I put BHC and Gibbs Olson on the list of the on-calls that I thought were the most interesting prospects.
And that's the one like. Actually, looking at the traits, there's actually 3, but one I have a fair amount of experience with and I don't trust.
I don't know how much we can say about certain
Yeah,
firms.
yeah.
And it
That's-
probably should just leave that out of it, but I mean, this is
Okay,
based off of what.
this is my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah, what of their, what they can offer best fits what the port
Right.
needs
Is it
today.
possible for me to talk about my experiences
Yeah,
with certain?
well, you could just leave out the certain part.
So there has been certain engineers south of us here, or north of us.
North
here.
of us.
Couple firms,
Yeah.
and both of them have been tough to get responses back and a little rough. So
No, the two looking at the trait, capabilities. And then at least other hearing things is the BHC and the I just put GNO, it's whatever. I can't
I'm
remember.
not familiar with them.
What's the G, I just abbreviated GNO.
Gibbs Olson.
Oh, Olson Engineering on Port Orchard, yeah.
No, they're
No.
not Olson Engineering.
No.
It's not Olson or the Olson
No, it's
Associates.
not.
Olson.
They're actually out of Longview.
Oh, I'm not.
And they're
familiar with
actually
them.
the ones that did the Chehalis water system.
Right, oh,
The one that
fine.
you were using
Oh,
as
yeah.
a model
Yeah.
for
I'm not. familiar.
preparation.
And I've only dealt with
What
three
we
of
can
them.
do and what we can't do.
Apex, WSC, and
Yeah.
Northwest is the only three I've ever dealt with. The other ones I
And I
have.
put Apex on our list of hopefuls on the water system plan update. I thought they had
They're big,
a very, very well targeted proposal.
and I've worked with them quite a bit, so I gotta go.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Nope,
No worries.
Okay,
It is what it is, well,
thanks. Catch you later.
No, I want to, bring to the commission on the Monday meeting my recommendations for on-call. But I wanna wait on the water system plan update for time to make a decision there.
good. I would, as one committee member, I'm not sure others, but as one committee member, I would recommend that.
That's,
Because, and the two that I was telling you on the on-call, the BHC and the,
and really what I wanted to do here is to get a list of questions that I might ask as follow-up to the firms that seem the most interesting to us.
well,
We might be able to kind of help.
yeah,
select
what Jim was talking about was, okay, basically they gave a flat rate when it came to engineering
Yeah,
reviews. Okay,
and so
fine.
that's one of the ones I have, ask if there is a rate differences between their employee disciplines. So
Sure.
different disciplines and lines of work, different rates.
Sure. The other thing, I don't know how fine the court wants to go beyond the engineering review of drawings. But, you know, like I've seen that when we've been working different things, we've had questions come up. And some of them we needed to know like fairly soon. And others we
Right.
could wait a week or so.
And that's where when you're talking about a larger firm with a larger like base.
Well,
They can typically get back to you.
so, you know, for example, if you have a problem with your VFD,
Right.
who do you call? And
Now,
then,
right now, I would call Calvin.
yeah, no, I understand, but I'm just as an example, but I'm, say you have a problem with, you know, something we don't have expertise in. Then, you know, so for example, this issue that we have here with the water pressure and what the pump's running at this point, that's something you don't need an answer today.
But I still need to have it in the pipeline for an answer.
Yes. So to me, there's like things you need today, and there's the engineering reviews.
Right.
That's one group, but then there's like things you need today, crises or whatever, and then things we need to know like in the next week or so. As a division of, you know, services or types of services we might need, and because they could range, you know, just like when we're trying to put this together about the issue of, you know, the harmonics and removing the harmonics in the VFD, the electrical harmonics. We don't need to know that right now, but you're gonna need to know that at some point. Ooh. That was a clicker.
Okay,
Does that make sense?
yeah, I got it listed as a division of priority to questions that the court has. You know, estimated wait times. For, you know, work to be accomplished depending on priority.
I mean, beyond that, so for the on-call, that's those two.
And I
then-
think that has a lot to do with one of my other questions is, you know, the current workload to begin right away. On projects that we need answers to now.
Yeah.
You know, can we count on timely answers fairly quickly, or do we have to? Be in line in a queue where you don't have somebody ready that can do that in the next week.
And that's, and many times you can work with that as long as you know what the queue, you know, what
the queue is, right? And that's organization.
I mean, if you really think about all the problems that the water systems had over the last couple of years, there's only been a couple where you needed answers, you know, the same day.
Mhm.
I mean, what's your experience? similar?
I'm not dealing with engineers that much, so. it's-
Yeah, oh,
That's the
It,
difference.
you,
really.
yeah, you just jump in and do it. I know the feeling.
I do have a problem that I might have to do with an engineer on, that's, yeah,
Yeah.
normally it's pretty straightforward. It's
Yeah, no, we, we're just into an
I have a
area,
low pressure issue I have to deal with.
yeah,
That's been there for years though, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's in different spots, yeah, but I got a new spot that I just added 2 lots, put meters on there, yeah, pressure issue.
Gotcha.
And I own them, so I gotta,
hey,
figure it out.
the best kind of problem to have. Nobody else's
I
responsibility.
recently acquired them, and now I'm selling them, and I'm. Yeah, figure it out.
Okay, going back to number 4, was there anything left you hanging on?
No, I mean, on the original,
On the Sullivan Street
I
extension?
don't think so. I think I got enough here to.
Hey, you understand how we switched this all around to a fire hydrant, so to speak, and from a,
Yeah, and there'll probably be some questions about, I wonder how much the distance really is. Is it right at that 400 feet line?
I will look it up and call you.
Okay, because, there may be some pushback.
Yeah.
On one.
No,
on putting a fire hydrant there because
It's
it's
gonna be-
still
yeah.
not technically required.
It used to be around like $7,000 or $8,000 a lot of times.
Yeah,
So, yeah, but let me look and then
Okay.
I'll get back to you, cause I used to know, but
cause I mean, it may be even that we need to take a distance wheel out there and literally walk it from.
no, I mean, it's not, that's not a problem. I got the map, I got a map that'll work.
Okay,
I can figure it out.
cause if it isn't legally making that requirement, then.
Yeah, no, we
we're gonna
gotta
have
address
to
it.
walk away from that required.
Yeah,
You're the next guy.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I can't remember if it's 400 or 500. I mean, this. It might be
I
500, so,
think it's 400.
sewer's 400 for sure. But anyway, I'll look.
I've got the specs here in my computer, so
Alright.
we can look at it later.
Yeah. Okay, so number 4, we're pretty much done. 5, the on-call, we kind of came down with the 2.
Yeah, I mean, did you see anything else that
No.
jumped out of you?
No,
Yeah,
I'm gonna try to have the same engineer for both,
well,
if possible.
it makes a lot of sense.
I mean,
It makes a lot of sense.
yeah. And it looks like you have.
And it doesn't necessarily mean that if we pick one on call now and we use them for some engineering on the water system that's not related to the water system plan update, that we don't come back and
Yeah.
switch.
I don't disagree on the water system plan. I could have the 3rd one in there.
Right.
And
you can have multiple on-call contracts with multiple engineers.
right,
You know,
where I was going with, we still have specking. I know you've probably talked to VHC a little bit, but the issue of how they're gonna, how it's gonna work with us. In other words, what's staff gonna do to provide them
right.
and how that's gonna work, because otherwise we can't go the full, turn it loose and let them do the whole damn thing. And seeing that we run into a few issues that don't seem to match our plan, i.e. tank diameter, elevation, pressures, and other things. We got a little bit of work. What we thought might have been done isn't totally done. Like the tank diameter that's in the plan is not the tank diameter we got. The elevation's a little different. What the one engineer said that one point we'd have 38 pounds, we had 29.
Is there a discrepancy in the tank diameter?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, where's the discrepancy from what the water system plan says versus?
Yeah,
Did you measure it?
I haven't got a measure. You've already told me the numbers you go.
Yeah, I think that's the numbers I have from the literally.
No, but I'm
specs that
saying-
We were sold.
Yeah, but I'm saying, when you say that your height is like, you're full at 16 or 18 feet or whatever it is,
Yeah,
that's not what's in the.
it says 19, it's 19 foot. Nah, it's 19 foot, I think 9.
Look, I thought it was one small.
I can bring it up right now.
I don't
I
care.
got, it's easy for me to get.
It's not a problem. Oh,
But no, but there is,
obviously there's some problems, okay? We've run into a few. Okay, so
water supply update.
Any more discussion on the proposals?
No, I think we're narrowed down now.
And the water system plan, we kind of. We're saying three there, but.
Yes, three there,
Okay.
and I'm not ready to make a recommendation
No.
to the commission.
No, because what we need from them or you that to them or something is how we're gonna divide up the tasks. And how they wanna work it, because that's gonna create a wholly different costs. In the whole process.
Number 7.
Number 7. You got my input.
Yeah, and
I gave him a
time
list.
constraints didn't allow me to finish that, but I did schedule a meeting with Key Pumps out of Chehalis to do an on-site visit Tuesday at 2 o'clock.
Okay, so
And
you don't need me there.
no, I don't need, no, it literally will just give me everything else I need for the apples to apples comparison to really make sure we've got everything nailed down on what we're looking for, and he was happy to come up and do it.
Yeah. This is where they're gonna replace the 5 horsepower because the VFD doesn't run it with the 15 horsepower and all the attributes that.
Sounds familiar. It's been putting a VFD in and trying to run the pump and trying to figure out why it wasn't working. It's been through all that.
You're gonna learn some more stuff here, Charlotte. In addition.
So, yeah, I mean, I made DOH aware of the situation in 2 emails now.
Very
And
good.
they haven't had any pushback
Yeah.
yet, so,
Okay,
I sent it off again with it detailed in our status report for a second time.
and I personally, I wouldn't expect, the pump guy necessarily know all these issues about harmonics and stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's just something that we're gonna,
But
we
that-
need to put into the requirement on this bid, so.
But then,
I think that it might be something that we just put the subcontracted electrician to install.
right,
The
but they,
pump guy's really not gonna be there to do that. He's gonna be there to pull and
Yeah.
put into place.
right, because the device is up in the warehouse.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. But, we're gonna take care of having our, our well, level sensors put in.
Yeah.
And then, we need to, incorporate
so.
incorporate the controls that will control that
Right,
and monitor it.
okay, so I drew up you a couple different plans.
Yeah. Still haven't opened that email.
Okay,
So I'm gonna open
the
that
biggest,
email
the big,
before I get to our meetings.
okay, the biggest difference between. So to speak, carrying out what originally was kind of designed as, but now the 15 horse, just saying for sake of argument, the 15 is what we expect.
Yeah.
The biggest difference is. I changed it from having the pump do all the regulating. To taking it, because of the way he's got it set up now, you're gonna need the 5 horsepower all the, most of the time.
Right.
So why don't just take advantage of that, because you can get 33% more water.
Right.
If you let. One
Let
pump
the
do
boost-
its,
a little 5 horsepower. booster.
right, and let the 5 horsepower take care of that one zone.
So when I talked to him over the phone, he asked me, what kind of gallons per minute are you expecting? And I was like, well, I'd like to see at least 160.
Right,
And then I told him the particulars, and he didn't seem to think that was a problem.
now the pump, the one that I sent you, the Xylem.
Yeah, the Xylem.
Yeah.
Cools.
It initially. Given the head that you got and all the different head factors, initially it will start pushing out pretty close to almost 200.
Right.
But as it gets near the top. And you build up pressure, and most of the pressure isn't so much the head that you're building in the tank, most of the pressure you're building is the fact you're drawing down. In a well, that's where, because that's gonna be up in the range, now beyond the range a little bit of what we originally tested the well. So I know for sure that if you run 3 or 4 hours, say it runs 3 hours, which it would, you're probably gonna draw down 70 to 80 feet. Yeah, drawdown.
Yeah, I remember The drawdown after 3 hours there was, I think, 77 feet.
Yeah,
Um,
but that was at 125.
yeah, 125 gallons per minute. On the current pump.
You know, by the way, Neptune says that, and I don't know, they gave a loss and I can't remember what it is. I think you lose 4 pounds a head running at 160 to 170 through a 2-inch meter.
Okay.
Or something like that, but I think it's 4 PSI. I'll send you the chart, then you have it. You know, because we're talking about pump and then putting a 3-inch drop pipe.
Mhm.
And I was concerned about the 2-inch meter, but it looks like it can handle it. And then in time, you know, we can up later on.
You know, upgrade it to the 3-inch meter.
Well, even, you might be able to leave it for a long time. What you're gonna have to upgrade, obviously, is the apparatus inside the well house eventually at some point. So I guess what I'm saying, the biggest change, what I was laying out is that you're using the 5 horsepower more to drive the interim, the middle, or the old Allen carry system. And the big one, it fills your reservoir. And by doing that, you can get 33% more water than the other design.
And that's just a matter of setting that,
Well, and then,
setting the parameters
Right.
and the, combination valve.
and there'll be a little bit of plumbing on the outside because the quickest way is just to put a pressure reducer on the 4-inch and be done with it. Then you don't have to worry about it. So there's probably a pressure reducer, some plumbing, your drop pipe, your pump, and
I
whatever,
mean, for example, today, because temperature outside,
yeah,
they drew the reservoir down to alarm.
oh yeah,
Because they literally drew it down so fast, it went past its kick-on set point
sure,
before it could fill back up. So it's set up so that, it, you know, it
Yeah.
started pumping at like 12.4 feet.
yeah,
But literally it drew down past 12 feet
sure,
is where I set the alarm,
Yeah.
just so that I know, hey, I need to look and see if the pump's even operating.
no, in other words, your peak hour flow is faster than your pump.
Right. So it's running right now, and it's been running, you know, since about 11 o'clock this morning.
Yeah, it'll run for a while.
And it's gonna run for a while today, you know, to get back up there.
Do you have a controller? Can you see all that stuff or you haven't done that yet?
You mean, what do you mean by controller?
Well, I'll be able to see what levels you're,
Yeah, so
you have that
the
capability.
radio, telemetry literally sends a signal down to here at the office. And then I've got a control panel up there that literally tells me if the pump's on and what the level of the tank is. Just a rudimentary system.
When did you install that?
When you spent that.
February,
$1,000
Do you know how much that cost?
10K.
Yeah,
Well, I got an estimate of 50,000
Oh, God, don't do that.
for radio and basically be able to monitor the 3 reservoirs and be able to tell
Well,
you.
you've got a little bit more going on there.
Yeah.
Who gave you the?
Oh, that was, I don't remember the company, I have to go back and look. This was Lacey,
Somebody Lacey gave you?
yeah, and I've got a second, I just.
Yeah, it gets-
I was just like, that's a little bit too much for us to spend for.
Yeah.
Right now, we're gonna get just fine with our PUD line, communication line.
Sure. You know, and actually, I mean, to put it into perspective, you're looking at 10K that installed a solar panel and a battery for the monitoring system at the tank with the radio transmitter. So that it's got the power to get all the way down here to the office. And there's another radio transmitter here at the office with another control panel so that I can see what the level of the tank is. I can turn the pump on and off from the office and literally know if the tank has been alarmed or not. And then that sends a signal down to the pump down here with another radio transmitter. Because you gotta have the radio
So
transmitter.
you use the radio transmitters, not cellular.
Right, so radio transmitters in 3 locations with towers. And control boxes in 2 locations with the solar at the top, and it was 9,600.
Yeah, that's just a rough estimate she gave me at the time where I have all these problems and stuff.
Sure,
So I looked at the.
I didn't
The
know,
radio frequency guy that came and talked to the water deal.
that's the guy that we use.
Yeah, so I haven't even talked to him yet to see.
Yeah, no, he's, you know, and if I got questions, he answers the phone. He gives me time that's not.
You have line of sight?
No,
No.
no line of sight. There's line of sight from
That's
here
our
to,
problem, there's no line
here
of
to
sight.
down there, but there's no line of sight.
Yeah, that's too,
Radio.
that's why they recommend cellular, because there's no line of sight, it's a radio.
It depends on how much you've got in the way and how much other frequency like disruption there is. Because what he does is he shows up with a device that tells you if you can use radio or not.
Gotcha.
Because then it literally bounces the signal back and forth to know that you're getting enough crisp signal to actually make that system work. So, and then, you know, it might even be cheaper to, you know, have a repeater here and there. Just to, you know,
Yeah.
get the signal bounced around.
Right,
Yeah, right, I mean, it costs us $1,500 a year, PUD.
Right, and this
Full
system,
contact.
our system costs us nothing. Yeah,
Once you get it going.
yeah, once you get it going, it's done.
All right, we done?
Anyway, yep.
that's where I was going. Wait till you're done talking.
Okay.
Okay, so 7 will, you're.
Yeah,
you
there's
know
gonna
what to
be
do.
more information next week and then, you know, I'm gonna be ready to get that out
Okay,
pretty soon.
then,
I wanted to get it out at the end of last
but
week. but I just-
before you send it out, let's just touch base on that.
Yeah, I'll review.
Drives, because there is, depending on the approach the port uses, there's a little bit different hardware. And when I say hardware, I'm talking just plumbing and,
And I think that's gonna end up coming from our second evaluations by our on-call.
yeah, no, I agree. Okay, second public comment. Anybody, nobody in the audience, anybody on Zoom? Hold on a second.
No, nobody's on that.
Nobody's on Zoom. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay.
It's been moved and seconded. Well, there's only 2 of us. Moved and second, so aye. Okay, thank you.
So